Welcome back. New this morning, Vermont's capital has gotten a reprieve from a plan to deliberately flood it. A Vermont utility has decided against flooding the state's capital to save a dam.
Okay, Megan, 6:48 is your time this morning. 8 is our UV index today on a scale of 1 to 11. Despain Casey Dermatology Center and Medical Spa, Big O Tires, Breakdown, and Jiffy Lube sponsor SunSense. Yesterday, it was a nice day. We did have a little shower activity yesterday evening. Officially, we picked up just 1/100th of an inch of measurable precip. If you lived up to the north, you picked up just a little bit more than that. Yesterday, we had a high of 86 and a low of 60, and that's very similar to the weather that we'll experience today. No rainfall, though, for all of us today. The rain is back in across parts of Oklahoma and west central Arkansas this morning, and that's where it's going to stay until tomorrow. We'll have another opportunity for some rain tomorrow. Today we're dry and sunny. Look for a high of 86 today, so a nice afternoon.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Great one.
3 men are in the Howard County Jail this morning after a break-in at a mid-Missouri salvage yard. Authorities arrested the trio on Sunday. Boonville police tell KOMU that 3 men led officers from New Franklin on a car chase into Boonville. That's when police from Boonville joined the chase and helped apprehend the men. The billions of dollars of damage caused by Hurricane Irene will affect one Missouri city in a big way. FEMA says it will suspend some payments to Joplin for rebuilding efforts. That would include roads, schools, other structures. For now, it'll still pay Joplin residents for storm assistance. Irene hits hard an already stretched federal disaster fund, which over the weekend had about $900 million less. That's less than the $1 billion that officials prefer to keep on hand. Over the weekend, a House committee asked for more than $3.5 billion for the disaster fund for this and next fiscal year. Even though all eyes have been on the East Coast weather this weekend, mid-Missouri has still had its eyes on Joplin. KOMU 8's Jessica Smith shows us a group of 700 volunteers who are still showing more than 3 months later that Columbia's for Joplin.
The volunteers' day started before the sun. A 4-hour bus ride took them to a scene they watched on TV, but not like this.
When you see destruction, but you see it in a little snapshot on a camera, not, full 360 view of it, and it's a lot worse than I thought it was.
For Blank and most of the group, it was the first time to see the destruction in person. Even though many had witnessed tornadoes before,
It was bad. It washed a house down onto the main street. Nothing like this. This is just goes on and on and on. This is completely different.
in the triple-digit heat, groups took the city block by block, raking up debris, taking down walls, and finding what's left of people's lives. A photo album showing easier times.
There's a mom or a grandma or a child somewhere that wants these pictures.
And a Bible with an all too meaningful passage.
Comes that verse right there where it says, "Come down and sit in the dust."
Motivated workers to push ahead.
I can rake for 2 minutes and keep digging out of the same spot and digging more and more and more out of the same spot, so it's just entrenched.
Most of the debris has been put into piles like the ones around me. In fact, AmeriCorps says 90% of the debris on private property has already been cleared. And that's because of the huge amount of volunteers coming to Joplin.
Disaster doesn't correlate with the speed of the cleanup. We've seen very narrow disasters take a lot longer.
Although walking through the damage still sends a shock.
I'm proud of the state and the surrounding states to come together and help out in the effort. I know we've got a little ways to go, but I think we're going to get there with all the continued help and support.
I know we're not going to forget it, but we can get it cleaned up and back to where it was, if not better than what it was.
This group looks past the rubble and towards the future. Jessica Smith, KOMU 8 News, Joplin.
The Columbia for Joplin workday started when Columbia dentist Neil Riley had the idea during a round of golf. Donors from all over Columbia paid for 7 buses, gas, food, and water for the volunteers. We'll have more on the Columbia for Joplin workday tomorrow on KOMU 8 News Today. Death comes on a person who inflicted it on many others. A look at the latest in the Lockerbie case that caused worldwide attention more than 2 decades ago. And a live look over Highway 63 here in Columbia at 6:53. We'll be right back.